Hello, and welcome to Rad Reviews, where I review whatever I feel like. Today, it's these headphones, the SONY H.ear Wireless, also known as the SONY MDR100 ABN, but that's not a very memorable name. I honestly don't even know why they bother with a name like that. It looks more like a serial number than an actual name. If Beats does one thing right, it's the naming of their headphones. At least it's memorable. But we're going to look past that because these headphones definitely aren't Beats. Yes, that's a good thing, if you care anything about sound quality. So one of the particularly cool things about this headphone is that whatever color you decide to go with, it will come with a matching carrying case and a matching auxiliary cable as well. They got a whole theme going on here, so whatever color you get, the accessories will match. So what am I going to go over in this review? Well, I'm going to talk about the sound quality, which is amazing, one of the best actually. Active noise cancellation and isolation, comfort, fit, controls, battery life, durability, and the included accessories. And at the end of this video, I will summarize the strengths and weaknesses in a section I call the rad and the bad, to help you decide if these are the right headphones for you. Alright, so let's talk about the sound. These headphones sound amazing, absolutely phenomenal. Any kind of stigma about Bluetooth headphones sounding bad or cheap can be dismissed. Really, these are insanely close to the sound quality of a wired headphone. And what more could you ask of a Bluetooth headphone when it comes to sound quality? And the cool thing is there are actually several other headphones out there that are of comparable sound quality. No, Bose and Beats are definitely not examples of that. Just saying. And I'll probably talk about those in future videos, but anyway, as a guy who's been producing music for a while now, I still find these a very fun and honest headphone to listen to music on, but I can appreciate the difference between a true studio headphone and a music listening headphone. And I think every good music producer should. But these headphones have punchy, deep, smooth bass, clear mids with just the right amount of meat, and crisp highs that are not harsh. So the clarity is there and they really pack a punch at the same time. In my opinion, when it comes to sound quality, these headphones really have it done right. And I think anybody that gives these a shot would feel the same way. Alright, on to the active noise cancellation, or ANC for short, not to be confused with isolation, sometimes foolishly called passive noise cancellation. Anyway, the isolation is pretty decent on these headphones. In other words, these naturally block out noise quite well. And that complements the active noise cancellation. So while the ANC is quite good, it's not quite as good as Bose. And I'm talking about the QC35, a benchmark headphone when it comes to noise cancellation. So if that QC35 is a 10 out of 10 when it comes to noise cancelling, I'd give these SONY H.ear's a 7, which isn't actually bad at all. The thing is about the QC35 being a 10 out of 10, its noise cancellation is actually so effective that it makes people uncomfortable. It creates like a pressure sensation, and a lot of people just can't stand that. And on the Bose QC35, there's no way to turn that off or turn it down or disable it. It's just, you turn them on and that's how they're gonna be. So a 7 is a comfortable number, which is still very effective at doing its job at canceling external noise. But for the record, the QC35 doesn't personally bother me. And I would say that the noise cancelling on the QC35 is superior to this, but a 7 is still very good. But there is a bit of a fatal flaw, a catch if you will. And that is that the ANC is actually insanely sensitive to the wind, which is really unfortunate because it means if you're on a walk outside and there's a 5-mile-an-hour breeze, that will be enough wind to severely disturb the noise cancellation, and you'll get this sort of sound. It's kind of like a The good thing is that you can turn it off if the wind is too much, which it is likely to be if it's anything above a 5-mile-an-hour breeze. If you're in the office a lot or indoors, or maybe you're on the bus or on the plane, you shouldn't really run into any issues as far as wind goes. So take your listening environments into consideration when getting these headphones, but do note that you can always turn the noise cancellation off. Alright, on to comfort and fit. So these are the type of headphone I would call comfortable enough. It's not uncomfortable, but at the same time, it's not the type you put on and just forget you're wearing. Then again, comfort is subjective, so headphones are going to fit everyone differently. I can't really tell you how these are going to fit you, but I would say that there are more universally comfortable headphones out there. But more likely than not, these will be comfortable enough. On that note, I want to talk about fit. Not everyone mentions fit, but in my book it's the other half of comfort, and these have a great fit. Why? Several reasons. The ear cups swivel and pivot very easily, and the padding on the ear cups is sufficient and of a medium firmness and leather texture. The headband is somewhat stiff, but it's also very flexible. So you don't have to worry about these feeling loose on your head. And the adjustment is very smooth, makes an identifiable click when extending or collapsing. Makes it easy to remember where you like it. So while these headphones are not the most comfortable, I say they are comfortable enough, and they certainly stay on your head and over your ears exceptionally well. Battery life. Not too much to say about it, but the battery life on these is amazing. It's up there with the best. You can expect a minimum of 20 hours of listening time on a full charge, and that's with the volume at full blast with active noise cancellation on, connected wirelessly, of course. Full blast is really loud. So more realistically, you're probably likely to listen to these at maybe 50, 60, 70% volume, and that would yield you another maybe 4 or 5 hours of listening time. So I would say it's safe to assume you'd actually get about 25 hours of listening time on these. And you can always save battery life by using the provided auxiliary cable. And if you do decide to go that route from time to time, you can still use noise cancellation when it's plugged in. Not all headphones let you do that, but these ones do. But they don't function as a headset unless they're connected as a Bluetooth headphone. Some headphones actually work both ways, but these don't. Not a big deal. The controls on this headphone are fantastic. They're simple, clever, easy to navigate and work, and they have just about all the options you would want. Most functions have their own button, which makes things very quick and simple. None of that press twice or 3 times to skip a track or go back one. That's just agitating and has no business on headphones as expensive in my opinion, but they're out there. So here's a close-up of the headphones, noise cancellation, power on and off, and pairing. You can also pair via NFC. A quick press of the power button to check battery life while these are on.
Battery level high.
And the volume buttons are pretty straightforward. Now this button makes this headphone special. This button is the all-in-one, but it's not just a button, it's also a slider, which you kind of flick to skip or go back a track, or hold if you want to fast forward or rewind. Press to play or pause, and hold down to activate noise command on your phone. Every command of this button slider thing is very easy and quick to execute. I actually might prefer it to touch-sensitive controls since it's a bit faster and less easy to accidentally input a command. But to each their own. Durability. So keep in mind we're talking about headphones here. They're not something that's manufactured to take abuse, so to speak, but I imagine that if you take good care of these like you would with most headphones, they should last you a very, very, very long time. And I do think they're a fair bit more durable than quite a few headphones out there. A lot of this build is metal and the headband is very flexible, so it's not going to snap that easily. Overall, the whole headphone just feels solid and very well put together with high quality materials and engineering. They also fold up, which helps by tucking in the ear cups, leaving the headphones less vulnerable, which takes me to my next topic, accessories. So Sony made it real easy to take good care of these headphones by including a nice zip-up case, which zips up and it's hard shell, and all you gotta do is fold these up, collapse them, and just basically drop them in the carrying case. You close it, zip it up, throw it in a bag, and you're good to go. So there's really no excuse to not take good care of these headphones. Sony gave you everything you need. And you can also use these as a wired headphone because they included that auxiliary cable which I mentioned before. And it's kind of cool and unusual in the way that this cable is actually 3.5 millimeters on both ends. So it'll work with anything that fits a standard headphone or MP3 cable. And it also means that finding a replacement cable is going to be that much easier. Just make sure the tip is on the skinnier side or else it might be too big. And then there's also the micro USB charging cable, of course, which actually doesn't fit the color scheme, but thanks for including it anyway, Sony. Alright, well that brings us to the final part of this video, the rad and the bad. Let's start with the rad. Sound quality is among the best, noise cancellation is quite effective, controls are simple and practical in every way with a button setup that makes perfect sense, and the battery life is amazing, minimum of 20 hours on a single charge. And these are also just a great looking pair of headphones with matching accessories. And to a certain degree I think those kinds of things should matter. The bad. Noise cancellation is too sensitive to wind, which makes it basically useless in anything above the mildest breeze. But you can always turn it off if it's a bother, so it's not too bad. Just really unfortunate. But again, if you're in an environment where it's not going to be windy, it's not going to be an issue. And the comfort. These aren't the most comfortable headphones, but they're also not uncomfortable. I just expected a little bit more out of a headphone in this price range. But then again, comfort is subjective and these are likely to be comfortable enough. So yeah, overall these are a very cool headphone. However, if you really like these and what they have to offer for the money, I actually suggest going with the newer version of these, the Sony MDR1000X, which is very similar in many ways. I'm getting acquainted with them and definitely appreciate some of the upgrades and differences I notice, as well as some features that some people might consider game-changing. I'll be doing a review on those soon. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed or appreciated this video and want to stay tuned on future content and reviews. Your support and viewership certainly mean a lot to me. I'm also taking requests for headphone reviews, so feel free to leave a request in the comments section below. Well, my viewers, I think it's time to go, so I thank you again and wish you good luck on the journey to finding your next headphones. See you next time on Rad Reviews.